This call is now being recorded.
As we all know that October 10th every year is celebrated as World Mental Health Day. So keeping that in mind, the Parle Institute of Nursing has taken this initiation to organize a panel discussion on the World Mental Health Day with the theme, A Ray of Hope in the Age of Uncertainties. So we all know we are going through tough times because of COVID and other issues. So I think this is a very apt time to discuss on these issues. So without any further ado, let me start today's session by introducing our panelists of this day. So let me begin with Dr. Deepak Patel, clinical psychologist at Parle University. Dr. Patel is an expert in dealing with self-harm behavior, suicidal tendencies, and substance abuse. She has many publications in her credit, both in national and international journals, and she's also skilled in delivering different psychotherapies for the patients. Dr. Deepak, I heartily welcome you for today's panel discussion. Welcome, ma'am. Next on the panel, welcome, ma'am. Next on the panel, we have Mr. Rajendra Makwan. Mr. Makwan began his nursing career way back in the year 1987 as a JNM nurse. Maybe I was a 2-year kid at that time. And then he went on to do his mental health nursing master degree from NIMHANS in the year 2006. He is a very active member in the part of Indian Society of Psychiatric Nursing, that is ISPN. And as a part of ISPN Society, he has taken the initiative to organize many conferences at national and international levels. He has also mentored a young number of thesis projects of nursing students at different levels. And we are very glad to have you, sir, for today's panel discussion. Welcome to
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Now it's time to hand over the session to Dr. Ramchandra Holi, Director, Parle Institute of Nursing, for highlighting the theme of today's occasion. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Sideshwar. Very good morning to all of you again.
Yeah, good morning.
The World Mental Health Day, as Mr. Sideshwar told, is celebrated every May. It has got its own objectives. Let me read those objectives, please. Observing the International World Mental Health Day today is to spread awareness regarding the mental health needs and problems of all age group. It's right now need of the hour. All the age group people are having one or other problems. Second, to highlight the lacking of mental health services in general healthcare settings. This need to be looked into. It requires so much vision to expand, work out, to address challenges and inequality faced by different age groups in accordance to mental health. And lastly, to gain insight on the nurse's role and importance for uplifting mental health of different age groups, because the nurse's role is not being recognized. It requires a lot of effort to get recognition. However, now the time is very short. We are having very less time is allotted. So let me stop now. I will hand over to Madam Deepak Patel. Please start yours. After her, Dr. Rajendra Kumar Makwana will speak. Thank you, ma'am. Madam Deepak Patel.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good morning, all of you. And
Good morning.
I'm so glad to be here on this platform on the World Mental Health Day. I was being asked to talk about something regarding kids, kids, children, adolescents overall, and how important it is to cater them. And we generally don't, use the words problems related to kids. Whenever we are talking about children, we are talking either about mental retardation, we are talking about ADHD or something so technical. But what we really forget is to take preventive measures when we talk about children. Because, sometimes when we talk about mental health, it is so important to cater the kids now. Right now, what's happening is if we can really focus on them, we can actually try and save our future. Children are going to be the future of the nation, of the world at large. So if we actually take care of them, it will really be worthwhile. And it's very simple to say, we really understand and children should not have problem and children don't have problem and grow up or learn to deal with it. We also had 110 issues while we were children, but that's not the case, because the problems that we had while we were children, they were very different. We just had 2-3 significant people in our life, maybe some immediate relatives, parents, teachers, friends, and whatever they said was actually final for us. So what their comments about us used to shape our self-esteem, our self-awareness. Now, thanks to social media, one child will put just one photo on social media, there'll be more than hundreds and thousands of people commenting on it. So, you know how difficult it is for them to come up with their own self-esteem, with their own image. And parents are also equally busy. So what happens is they give the phone, they give the TV, and we always used to tell them that screen time kam karo. And thanks to this pandemic, now we've handed over them the phone. So the education has also gone online. So I think the problem today in this world, this year, when we talk about mental health, the first thing that comes to my mind is people have started having dual personalities. One is online, one is offline. So, I'm I might be a very different person online. I might be a very different person offline. And, we used to be very simple and when we express our emotions, be it aggression, be it frustration, love, hatred, desires and everything, we were very okay with that because we were able to talk about the body language of the other person. So, if I'm saying something to my mom or if I disagree to something and I have to express that to my mom, it was very easy because I could understand from her features or, facial expression that, okay, she's not going to like this now. But now in this online culture, they don't even know how to express properly. So it has taken those extreme ends wherein they'll be very expressive or they will just stop expressing. So kids definitely require a lot of skills for socialization. So this is the first time on a mental health day. Instead of mental health, I think what is more important is going to have some organic socialization skills. We all need to focus now that, there has to be this 1 hour of zero screen time, no mobile phones, no TV, and everybody in the family has to sit at least in one room, hopefully with social distance. I don't know. We never talked about social distance in psychology. I was a person who used to tell parents, hug your child and give a lot of love and all that. So I have to change my comments now. Please don't hug children and keep them a little distant. So I'm trying and improving thanks to this pandemic. And I guess we will also have to rethink on our skills. Because earlier, even when children went to school, they were not only learning, they were not only getting education, they were getting lessons of life. Because they used to know how to talk to the friends, or how to talk to teachers or the non-teaching staff. In the recess, they had a lot of time to play, to run around, to develop some other skills. Now, nothing, absolutely nothing. All we have is computer games. And the aggression also, they have this PUBG and everything. Aggression is also going online. All the love and lust and everything is going online. So we definitely have to take some preventive measures this year. And I'm sure we are taking that. We've already started taking that. And at least in Parul University, we've started changing the way we think. We've actually changed the entire perspective of how can we run with this generation, cope up with them, go ahead of them and start, making things better for them. So to cater them the way they would love to handle it. Right. So that's what we are trying to do. And all I can say is that, if we can maintain some kind of homeostasis or some kind of a balance, if we can strike that balance between the virtual world and the real world, that would be great. Be it children or adolescents or maybe, the adult population. All we need to do is strike that balance. Because either we are so hurtful while giving any comments, or we are over-expressive and over-loving and all that. Not required. We just need to strike a balance. Try to be normal. And this reminds me of an article I read actually. I was having a word with one of our professor here, Dr. Dwivedi. He mentioned a very beautiful thing. He said that before a certain period of time, what was happening was somebody who has a piece of land was in power, because if you have a piece of land, you are kind of the master of the society. Then came a time wherein somebody who is intellectually smart, or who has knowledge, or who has ideas, is smart. But now this year, what I think is, thanks to the pandemic again, this year it's all about mental health. So if you have good mental health, if you can survival of the fittest the only thing that matters is your mental, psychological, and a little bit of your physical health as well. So if your mental health is good, things are taken care of. So this year, it's going to be only mental health. So thank you for having me and giving me this time to speak and give my ideas. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Yes, yes. And maybe, if we can try and use certain activities for our students, for children at home, maybe even in the marital relationship, if we can actually curb down the screen time and start talking, literally start talking, that would help. So communication is the key. If we can express well, if we are aware of the problem, the way Freud said it, like if you know your problem well, half the problem is already solved. So I know that we are very aware of what exactly we can pinpoint the problem. So we know the problem well. Half the problem is already solved. We just have to work towards the solution now.
Right, ma'am. You have rightly pointed out.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, madam. Now, Dr. Rajendra Kumar, little bit of what? I want to give a few, I want to give our mic to our provost, our vice chancellor. He wants to say some few lines. Sir?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Just one minute. Provost, he wants to speak. Few words.
Sir, I am in Central Admin. If you want me to ask him to get in touch with you or get online, can I do that? I'm just near his cabin.
Just our provost, he wants to speak few words. That's what I'm waiting. He's taking a connection now. Provost.
Any issues? All are mute.
Bridges, sir.
Yeah.
Provost, sir, he wants to speak few words. Can you give connection to him, please?
You just send this link. The link which I have sent you, you just send him. Wait a minute.
I sent already. Sir?
Yeah, I guess he's trying to get connected with the provost, sir. Meanwhile, if if there are any questions or if we can discuss on something, we can do that.
Sure, ma'am.
The time is
Actually,
young.
we already have received a question for you from the audience.
Oh,
So,
okay.
So let
Yes,
me
please.
put it forward to you. Yeah.
Yes,
There
please
was a
tell me.
question saying can we inculcate therapeutic interventions online to promote the mental health of children? Because as you have already pointed out that slowly things have been shifting towards online, which is becoming a new normal. We
Yeah.
cannot say that it's something which is odd, but something which we
Yeah.
have to embrace. So having understood this situation, is there any way from your point of view that we can, modify the therapies in such a way that you can touch the lives of children online?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. In fact, we've started doing that, especially for our kids here in the campus.
Okay.
Whenever I'm talking to them or whenever I'm taking sessions, the first thing that we do is kind of, I try to make them more aware about the environment that's near them, because they feel so frustrated and so irritated, gazing at that one screen for a couple of hours together. So we've started
Right.
using play therapy. We've started using the skills of NLP, neuro linguistic programming.
Okay.
And I have started actually using linguistic, the language, the beauty of language. We've
Okay.
started using that. We've made certain games that can really help in increasing your span of attention online, and can also help vent out certain things, like the catharsis that can happen. Because
Right.
now, if we have something which is in the world of online, if there is no option, might as well happily embrace it gracefully and beautifully. So, what we've started doing is we've started coming up with mechanisms wherein catharsis is done online.
Okay. Okay.
So
I
the
get that.
frustration, everything comes out. So once ये खाली हो जाता है, उसके बाद we can refill it again nicely.
Right.
So we
but
do
then
have
again,
sessions, we do
right.
have therapy.
Right, ma'am. So, but then I was a bit, worried on the aspect of how far the parents, because of course when we do online it is done on distance basis. Along with the child involvement, the parents also become an essential part.
Yeah.
And when these things are done at home or in their own, milieu settings. So, how far do you think the normal distractions at home can come into play while you're implementing the therapies?
Yes. So see, there is going to be disturbance, but this is what I keep telling
Yeah.
to all the parents here, that the problem we have right now is not about studying from home or doing therapies from home or the online thing. The
Right.
problem we have right now is the perspective that we have. Before starting a therapy or before starting a session, we have that negative attitude कि अरे यार अब ये भी online है करके. So once we have that negativity within us, things are definitely not going to work out. So
Yeah.
we need to deal with the perspective first. And I keep telling everybody here that, whenever we talk about this change, we always talk about the stress that we have or the anxiety that we have with regards to this change, but we always forget the aspect of opportunity.
Yes.
I have seen my teachers here in the campus, they've become smart now. They were intelligent always. Now they've
Okay.
become smart.
Smart.
There is an intelligence between being intelligent and being smart.
Yeah, that's a
And,
drastic development.
Yes, and the teachers are being smart, the parents are being smart now. They have actually they're trying to learn. तो वो गंगा भी उल्टी बह रही है. पहले ऐसा होता था प्रिंसिपल टीचर स्टूडेंट को डांटता ऐसे, अभी टीचर स्टूडेंट को बताइए करना कैसे है. प्रिंसिपल टीचर को बताइए करना कैसे है. It's a beautiful thing. We should love
Yeah.
it actually.
Right.
And if we'll have that positive mindset ना,
Yeah.
कि जैसे अभी रिसेंटली देयर वाज समबडी टेलिंग मी कि अरे मुझे सुनाई देता है कि सामने वाले के घर में कुकर की कितनी सीटी बज रही है. सो दैट इज अ ब्यूटीफुल थिंग. There are more than 150 people taking care of that cooker. Just imagine how beautiful it is.
Everyone is eager to taste the food that you're cooking.
Yeah, all we need is to handle things with a smile and a positive attitude, because it's
Right.
all about our attitude. If
I
you
agree,
think
I
that is
agree.
going to be positive, it is going
Yes.
to be positive.
Right.
Dr. Here is a proverb.
Yes. So I think we have Professor right now. So I request Kuli sir to kindly coordinate.
Good morning to one and all. आपका डिस्कशन मैं सुन रहा हूँ. I have one big rather so-called danger that those who are sitting on the last bench of the class and became a giant in their life, what will happen to e-learning to these people? Please you narrate the story of such students. Those used to sit on the last bench to whom I used to say that LLB, Lord of the Last Bench.
Last bench.
And they are doing something for the society. That is my observation of 45 years of service. So what will happen to this type of student if digital learning goes on? So please throw light on that also.
At least this is the positive thing we have. Now everybody is at the same bench. There is no last bench, no first bench. All the child has to do is like mute himself.
Right, sir.
So that's a good point.
Okay. Sir, Prost,
Yes.
say something, Prost, sir.
So I said that good morning to one and all and hope that your webinar
Thank you, sir.
will be fruitful to the students, because what we are arranging should not simply just to take it as a casual.
Sure,
હા,
sir.
અમારે ગુજરાતીમાં કહેવત છે કે કામ એ રીતે કરો કે ક્રિયાકાંડ કરતા કરતા ન હોવું જોઈએ. It should be દિલ से होना चाहिए. So whatever seminar across the universities are going on, I wish that all start of the good level. Students will learn from that, inspire from that. The Salvard Twitter we are managing. Obviously, they will give some input to our students. And the need of a day is that now digital learning is going to replace the entire blended teaching. So obviously, what are the psychological effects on that? And as you see that sometimes I used to talk with people that why the issues of such hazards are increasing. So she used to say that this is also the effect of corona. But at the same time, I used to say that the corona is also, I always appreciate, because at a time sitting at far so many friends to whom we are talking, it is possible due to corona only. So thanks to corona too also, we have to think positive part also.
Yes.
But we have to be very careful. We have to cross 2020 with safety and other with precaution, because it's a very dangerous phase we are passing through. But at the same time, we are laughing so that we can pass our life. We are very, very joyful and so on. So my best wishes to this nursing webinar, and especially the Huli, my morning walker with me. So I have to join. No doubt I am joining. I try to join in almost all webinar across, because I have kept 2-3 screens, and almost all through which I don't want to learn something. So I am connecting myself at a place every such webinar, and here also I have joined. So my best wishes to Dr. Dipal, our speaker, and especially resource person, Dr. Huli, and entire nursing team. My best wishes. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think now it's the right time to hand over to Rajendra sir to express or share his thoughts on today's session. Over to you, Rajendra sir.
Yeah, good morning to all.
Good morning.
Am I audible to you, sir?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Okay, good morning to all. As I have given the subtopic that is the challenges, inequalities among the elder people. So it's an appropriate topic for me and the Ramchandra, so as we are going to the elder population progressively. So globally, we can say it's the population, the aging is very rapidly right now. And between, we can think that the WHO has find out that the 2015 to 2050, the population of the people over the age of the 60 years will be increased from 10% to 22%. I mean, it's about to double. And we know that all the elder people, they are having the more problems compared to the other populations, we can say. And other things also, we can say the mental health problems and the neurological problems are more in an elder population compared to the other group. And it's about the 6.6% like that. And approximately we can see the 15% of the population, elder population, they are suffering from the mental health problems and neurological problems. So we can say that right now the elder population is about to increase from 900 million to the 2.2 billion. It's challenging for us. Then how to improve the mental health care among the elderly and geriatric populations, because we are not focusing that much on their issues. So, but thinking about the challenging and the problem, because the elder population, they are having the same stress and all the, like the common people, they are also having the stress and all those things. Even though they are facing the ongoing capacities of functional capacities like uh, lack of working and slowing and chronic pain and some physical problems like the diabetes and cardiac problems and the hypertension and etc. Even though sometimes they are facing the socio-economic status also because of the retirement. So the stressors is result into the isolations, loneliness, psychological distress in older people, which may require the long-term care. I think that. And we know that the mental health has an impact on the physical health, vice versa. The same thing. So older that people are they are having the physical conditions such as the heart disease, having higher rates of depressions. That we know. So the older adults also they are vulnerable to the elder abuse. So maybe the physical abuse, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, like that way. And even the we can say the 6 into the 1 elder is experience any kind of elder abuse. Apart from that, all that I have mentioned. Another issue is that the abandonment and neglect and the serious loss of the dignity and the respect that also the leads to the sometimes the physical injuries as well as the psychological injuries and psychological consequences including the depression and the anxiety. So thinking about that the elder people, that the depression and the dementia, these are the most common public health issues, mental health issues among the elder populations, adult and the as well as the elder population. So dementia, we know that is a kind of the progressive in nature chronic syndrome that leads to deterioration in the memory, thinking, behavior, and ability to perform the daily activities, etc. And in that one also WHO has said that the 50 million of the people of worldwide are suffering from the or living from with the dementia. So we can say that 60% of that people belongs to the low and middle income countries like us. So total number of people with dementia is projected increase in 82 million to the in 2030 and 152 million in 2050. Thinking of this, we have to prepare ourselves for this one very much. And as the our this mental health theme also is the today's theme is also is that the greater investment and the greater access. So we have to invest in so many things in that areas, and we have to plan so many activities to manage this dementia and depression is very common. So our treatment strategies and challenging we to overcome from these challenges. Some of the area is that we have to train our professionals providing the care of elder people, especially geriatric care. We have to focus more on that. Again, thing is the preventing and managing the age-associated the chronic diseases, including mental and neurological and substance use disorders also. So because of the depressions and the dementia, and the people are more prone to develop these substance use disorders. Again, we have to design the sustainable policies for the long-term and palliative care. Actually, in our state, Gujarat state, we don't have that much palliative care centers. I remember only that one is that in the hospice center in Vasna, Ahmedabad. So again, that we have to develop the age-friendly environment, providing security and freedom to the elder populations, adequate housing to supportive housing policies, social support for the older people, and also the caregiver of that elder peoples. Health social programs also targeted to vulnerable groups, especially for the elder one, because they are living alone. And who are living alone in a rural population, they are suffering from more chronic and relapsing illnesses and physical illnesses, even though. So we have to plan our social program also targeting over these populations. So again, we have to program to prevent the deal with the elder abuse, as I have mentioned, the psychological, social, economic, physical, sexual, whatever it may be. And the community development programs also, we have to make some more interventing in a way of that. So it can, each and every people can reach to those programs and they can take benefit of that program. So we can say regarding this one, early diagnosis and prompt treatment is very much important in that one. optimizing physical and mental health and functional ability and well-being of our elder people. Also, we require identifying and treating the accompanying physical illness. We are not going to treat only the mental health problems, but as well as neurological problems and the physical problems like cancers and then we can say diabetes and hypertension, etc. So this is the thing. And one more thing is that, as Deepal Madam also is said, detecting, managing the challenging behavior and providing information and long-term support to the carers. Because if the people who is taking care of this elderly population, if they are not supported properly, they will not take care properly, even though they will have some sort of the mental health issues also maybe. And last one, at least I can say the community directed, we can say all our programs, we have to take care of the community also. So whatever the people are or health professionals taking care of the community, they are also trained with the full of this management of the elderly population, all those things. So I can say it's a very challenging issue for us today and upcoming 25 years up to 2050, 2050. Right now today is 2020 only. So within the 30 years, we have to plan our long-term activities to handle this older population and elder populations to both one. Because as I said earlier, that the population moving 900 million to 2 billion population. So thinking of that, where we are. And right now the Corona has taught us the online educations that we don't know earlier. We were not using earlier. And as well as the Corona has, about to 10 lakh people has died globally because of this COVID infection. Right now, our India also suffering from the 65 lakhs. It's going to cross the 65 lakhs cases. Even Gujarat also is having the 1 lakh cases and all those things. So this is very much required and the COVID has also, COVID and the mental health both are now, right now the vice versa, they are related as physical and the mental health like the same thing. Because Corona has taught us so many things regarding the mental health and all those things. So at least I can say the people who are taking care of the elderly populations and the older populations, they have to remind one thing, while taking care of that, मुझे एक हिंदी line याद आ रहा है. Maybe you people are knowing that two lines. If you permit me, I can speak. कुछ तो मजबूरियां रही होगी उसकी, वरना कोई यूं ही बेवफा नहीं होता. See, we people are not taking that much seriously the older population, dementia, depression, and the Alzheimer's populations. But they also like us before. But so we have to teach the professional also that we behave with the empathetic behavior to your client. Consider your client as a human being, not as a machine or the subject like that. I am little bit different, but I am agree with the Deepal ma'am also. So I will about to conclude my topic. I hope so. બધાને ખ્યાલ આવ્યો હશે. ગુજરાતીમાં બોલવું જોઈતું હતું મારે, ડાયરેક્ટર સાહેબે પણ કીધું હતું ઇંગ્લિશમાં બોલીને લેંગ્વેજ શુડ નોટ બી એ બેરિયર ઓફ ધી કોમ્યુનિકેશન્સ. આઈ બિલીવ ઇન ધેટ વન. થોડું ગુજરાતી હિન્દીમાં બોલ્યો તો વધારે સારું રહ્યું હોત. એનીવે, થેન્ક યુ સર. થેન્ક યુ મેમ. થેન્ક યુ.
Thank you, Rajendra sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
થેન્ક યુ મેમ.
Thank you very much, sir. It was very educative, very nice. I'm much happy. Really, that's something very nice. I'm so grateful to you.
So Rajendra sir, I already had received a question for you pertaining to the care of. So there was a question where it is pointing out, or the people are trying to ask you that whether we can, think of some strategies for home care for the elderly people, even during the time of Corona, where much of the things are being online. So for being a nurse, how can we think of the strategies where we can give the best possible home care so that the mental health of elderly people is maintained?
So, एक्चुअली मेंटल हेल्थ केयर होम्स जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, मैंने बताया था कि एक कम्युनिटी ऑन्कोलॉजी सेंटर वासना अहमदाबाद में जो है वहाँ पर पैलिएटिव केयर दी जाती है. But right now, the COVID has taught us this home care and all about all those things, because people are isolated and they are kept in some place, different places in isolations and all those things. So they were only alone. Nobody is taking care of that. They are dependent on the only that people who are over there on that centers, COVID centers only. But thinking apart from the nursing point of view, I can say all the nurses, जो भी आप केयर ले रहे हो आपके पेशेंट्स की, तो मैंने पहले भी बताया था 2 लाइन में कि कंसीडर एज ए ह्यूमन बीइंग, नॉट एज अ पेशेंट, और टू कंट्रोल द सिम्टम्स ऑफ द क्लाइंट or as a subject, just going and giving, open your shoulder and giving the injection is not like that. It's not mechanically robotic action. You just talk to them, give a smile and talk and provide your care as people ma'am says. So that is very important. So humanity approach and the empathetic approach is very much required during the taking care of the elderly peoples. And in our countries, not like that much famous, but the other countries, developed countries, everybody they are having their own home care centers, and people are taking care at home, and nurses are providing the care at the home also. But same approach right now also in our country also is famous and is developed. So इतना ही कहना चाहूँगा कि आप जो भी केयर दे रहे हो अपने दिल से दियो, दिल से दो जो भी है, ठीक है? Do your
Rajendra
best.
sir, very beautifully said, but I'd like to add one point, sir, if you allow me.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, such beautiful answer you have given. And you know what, I'm associated to this old age home in Baroda here, and I myself have like 3 old people in my house above 65, 70 years of age, grandparents and all, in-laws and all. One thing that, I think that really makes a difference when it comes to old age and psychology is active listening. If we simply smile and listen to whatever they've got to tell us, their stories, their achievements. Sometimes what happens is they repeat their stories, but it's fine. If we simply smile and listen to what unconditional listening helps when it comes to old age. So just listening to what they've got to say, I think it's very helpful. And again, what Rajendra said, that's obviously important.
Yes.
So, yes.
I agree. So
Yeah,
that's
just
an
madam,
well put answer by both Rajendra sir and ma'am. There was another question to Deepal ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Question says, how can we build confidence in students when multidimensional and novel problems are, like cropping up due to this pandemic? So how can the students balance their life pertaining to their pressure to, focus on the achievements as well as focus on their both physical and mental health? So any suggestions you would like to give to, youngsters or students or that community?
Yes, the very first thing, sir, I'd like to tell everyone is that one thing that's really stopping us from achieving anything in life is overthinking. And the student population, also the adult population, these days, we really overthink about one small issue. So what happens is there's one problem and we think from all the dimensions of it, and we are so busy thinking about that problem that we actually lose the focus towards the solution, towards working on the solution.
Right.
So what I make my students do in the classes, online sessions, the first thing I tell them is to take a blank sheet of paper and write the first 3 priorities of their life, the first 3 important things that are of utmost importance to them, maybe about their life or about today. Like, what is the most important thing for me to do today? I'll write it down, the 3 things, and forget the rest of the world. Just focus on that. Because we think about so many things, and thanks to media these days, they've actually made people crazy.
Right.
So अगर भूल से न्यूज चैनल देखो तो ऐसा लगता है कि कोई बचने ही नहीं वाला है धरती पे. Everybody is going to die tonight.
Right.
So limit yourself to the amount of information that you receive, and then while you are processing any piece of information, use your brain actively. That's what I like to tell people, that you watch news, you talk to people, listen to everybody, but then when you're processing information, keep yourself active mentally. Like what's required, what's not required. Focus on the one thing that you have to do and just do that. you'll end up doing it much better in a better way, or maybe confidently, smoothly. But
Right.
what's happening right now is we have like an octopus, we have our legs in 10 different things and we end up doing nothing nicely.
Yeah.
So I think that should solve the purpose.
The newer generation are being forced to become multitasking in many ways.
Yeah.
And the constant bombardment of information from all the angles of media
True,
has forced to,
true.
deviate from what we are actually trying to achieve in life. So
And
as
I
you
think
rightly
it's not
pointed out.
even their fault. It's not even their fault. Because even with me, in spite of knowing all this, if I'm watching YouTube or something and then they'll have some recommended videos, some similar
Yeah.
videos, and even I end up scrolling the
Yeah,
screen.
we get hooked to that process. Yeah.
Yeah. So what to do? So much of distraction they have that they really need to focus. If they
Yes.
focus well and if they're clear about their goals, achievements, and the pathway, I think that should not be a problem then.
Yes, that's true. Rajan sir, there was another question to you.
Yeah.
The question is, like due to this pandemic situation, most of the senior citizens or elderly population have been forced to, stay in the home, or they are forced to stay isolate themselves from the society because they are vulnerable to get the infection. So, because of this particular isolation, or we can say protection from this particular corona, so how do you think that they can still engage themselves socially while being at home and preventing themselves from this corona or COVID thing? Because earlier, I think like elderly people used to have their own groups. They used to go to morning walk, have some like chit chats or do some laughter exercises. These are all have come to a complete halt. And at home, though most of us are at home, but we're all busy in their own respective online sessions. Like the youngsters or the working people are busy with their online jobs. Still, while being at home, we are still isolated with one another. So, focusing on elderly, how can we overcome this particular situation?
Okay, fine. See, this is a very good question because right now we are facing because this COVID-19, we are facing the same isolation issues. And for the elderly people, they used to sit the outside of the home evening and even morning. In morning, they're going for the walking and they will talk with their friends and all those things. Early evening, they used to go to play going to the temples and talking on the benches outside of the society, talking with the people. They are spending their time. But right now, they are stuck to sit inside the home because of this
Yeah.
COVID-19 infection. So it's a very painful situation for them. So I can say the elder people and the adult populations, they are going for the service and job for the job outside of the home. So
Right.
those whose children are remaining at the home, we can teach them that you just sit with the elder people, talk to them nicely, listen them as people may say, but listen them carefully, and tell them to talk about their previous days और हैप्पी डेज टॉकिंग अबाउट हैप्पी डेज जब आप छोटे थे तो कैसे क्या कर रहे थे आपकी जब शादी हुई तो कैसे हुई थी क्या हुआ था जस्ट आस्किंग अबाउट दिस हैप्पी issues happy events
Experience sharing, उन्होंने क्या क्या
experiences
किया
and
था?
all those things so we can make them happy like that another thing is that TV media is there so let them to see the religious spiritual or programs and the news and all those things right now the news are so painful because they are making the people for the moving to the depression. आज इतने केसेस आ गए आज इतना ये हो गया तो हम लोग भी अगर
Statistics.
टेंशन में चले जाते हैं कि हमारा क्या होगा तो इतना न्यूज भी नहीं दिखाना चाहिए उनको बट वी कैन से प्ले विद देम लाइक प्लेइंग कार्ड्स एंड सम कैरम एंड some inside games are there we can play with
Yes.
them also so making
Right.
them engaged, giving these religious and spiritual books and all those things. We can also then connect with the relatives with the like this media on the video call and audio call and
Yeah.
etc. So they can become
Right.
live with their friends and all those things. So these are
Exactly.
some of the areas we can maintain their mental health, make them connected with all the people, relatives and all those things. So we can prevent the depression and all those things and anxiety among all these elder people. So these are
Right.
some of the common ways.
Yeah. I agree, sir. I think even simple newspapers, like there are certain activities which will help senior citizens to stay at home and keep themselves busy, like filling up the crosswords or maybe playing the Sudoku or reading any, like interesting articles. These are all sorts of some home remedies that we can think.
I
If not,
I
we can't do
excluded
anything.
newspaper because we also it can carry the COVID virus also. That's why I
Yes.
excluded this newspaper. The people are saying that this is sanitized newspaper, but even personally, I don't believe that is sanitized. So that's why I have avoided, excluded newspapers. And all
Okay.
those things. But even though we can
Yeah.
sanitize the newspaper at our home and we can
Yeah.
give it to them. That's a good.
Yeah, and we can download the same applications on mobile as well. We have a
Yeah.
lot of
That's good.
games of these sorts just to keep themselves busy.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, sir. So now I think I have a question where it was just popping in my mind where because we are talking of the two extreme ends, like Deepal ma'am was focusing on the youngsters and Rajesh sir
Ma'am
is
belongs to
focusing on the
youngster and
elderly.
we are elders, so we are given the stuff.
No, it's not that.
We are in the middle, sir. So the middle-aged people
No,
have
no.
to
Me
strike
and
the balance
Ramchandra
now.
sir about to move to older population now.
So we need
Yeah, you
your
continue, sir.
experience and blessings to cope with this situation, sir. But anyway, like what I was thinking is like when we think of the children, like especially below 5 years, where developing the communication skills is very important, and at such times we are in a we are in a transformation stage from social skills to online communication skills. So, Deepal ma'am, what you have to say, like, will the shift on online system is going to suppress the ability of the youngsters, especially the small children, when they become adults or when they go into the social life? How well they'll be able to cope with the communication lag, or how much pressure might be there on them for developing this art of communication?
Well, I think, if we just try to judge them from this perspective, the current days that we are seeing, I feel that they are going to actually miss out on the humanitarian approach that we have.
Right. Right.
Because I've
Yes.
really not seen people just leaving that mobile phone and sitting in a group of 8-10 people. Because before this pandemic, I was walking through the corridor, there were around 8 to 10 kids sitting in a group. And one girl just happened to say the other one, hey, Arey, your picture has really come well. Apan ne वहाँ click की थी ना, तेरी photo बहुत अच्छी आई है. So the other person said, अच्छा मेरी photo अच्छा, एक काम कर तो send कर तो मुझे. So they were not even tilting to the other screen,
Yeah.
like you just send it, maybe going lazy day by day. I think with this
Yeah.
online thing and all, things are going to change. But then I think let's be positive and let's assume that the change is going to be for the better. Because if the kids are changing, I'm sure that the generation is going to change, the future is going to change,
Yeah.
and the environment will change. So I think
Yeah.
that will be the anything.
Yeah.
What's required. But
Yeah.
what I take care of, be it any point of time in your life, be it in childhood or adulthood, or any point of time, I just keep in mind one thing, one statement, that happiness is an internal state of mind.
Yes.
So we just need to inculcate this belief system in children that happiness is going to be an internal state of mind. You don't need to rely on anything
Yes.
to be happy. You can decide to be happy. So it's definitely going to put
Right.
a little bit of pressure. Things are going to change, but I think the change will be for the good. Let's assume we all will sit here and witness how things have been changing. That will help.
In positive way, when we say that happiness is the interest state of mind, to have that enjoyment, I feel that people will go for so many things like science has brought communication. The communication is improved like anything. They explore and they get the happiness. They go for happiness. Possibly anything.
Yeah.
Really wonderful. Grateful to science or so many communications. We did not dream when we were childhood. We did not dream that we will speak like this. We thought only
Yes, definitely.
the only communication, but it has improved like anything.
Yeah.
So when our kids, when they become elder, there will be a lot of different further maybe wonderful things would be there. So they go for that happiness.
But I think it's very important for the parents to understand this more than the children or more than the elderly people. It's important for the parents. Right now, the key responsibility is on the shoulders of parents because they need to inculcate this in their children that it's important to be happy. What is happening right now is I have seen a lot of parents coming up with dead end communication. ये तो बेवकूफी है, तो डफड़ अच्छे. This is how they come. So they give a statement. It's not even a question. The child doesn't have a scope to prove himself because the parents come up with a statement. And again, the way you take it. So, yes, sir.
Children have got a lot of no ideas. They want to explore, they want to say, but elder people they don't catch it. They say "बेवकूफ है" बोलते.
Yeah.
That's what. Only thing we have to support them, promote them to go for new things because they have got so many wonderful thoughts. Well, we have to support it. Come on, let it be failure, no problem, but we should support it. If not that, something they will find it. Because children might.
So I think maybe the key word from this discussion that we carry today is going to be active listening. How listening helps in this pandemic. Be it children, be it elderly, listening helps.
Right. Okay. Thank you, sir. So slowly we are inching towards the time, and I think it's good that we slowly try to wind up for the discussion. So I would like to thank Dr. Deepal as well as Rajendra sir for your active participation in today's panel discussion on Mental Health Day. As Ma'am has rightly pointed out, and sir also has been constantly saying that the WHO definition of health has already inculcated all the three dimensions, like of the mental health, of the body, and also the spirit. So at the end of the day, whether it is online or offline, we have to always, our motto of life should be to strike the balance between all these three, whether it is on online media or offline media. So that should be our goal. And I think with time, it's the beauty of being this species where we belong as a Homo sapien, that we have that ability to adjust or mold ourselves to whatever situations come. That strength has been given to us by the divine. And I think the tough times will also pass by. And if we stick together and help each other in combating these issues, definitely we'll overcome this. And again, we'll be going back to the normal situation. Now we are becoming like we are accepted already the online thing as a normal. But who knows, after a couple of months when vaccines come, again we may have to shift back to what we used to do earlier. So again, there will be a slight, bumps in our life, so that we need to overcome those things. So I hope this discussion on this particular topic was fruitful to all the viewers and listeners, as well as students who were part of this. I would like to thank you wholeheartedly from the College of Nursing for participating and accepting our invitation. Thank you each and everyone for participating. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for organizing this so beautifully and moderating the session as well. So thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rajendra Kumar.
Thank you.
I'm so much happy.
Thank you, Ramchandra sir. Thank you, Satya sir. Thank you, Deepal ma'am, for inviting me as a guest speaker.
It was a pleasure having you, sir. It
Take care.
was a pleasure listening to you, Rajendra sir. We look forward to talk more.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
We'll put it off. Thank you, sir.